Innovative technologies. 4. Assessment tasks in teaching and learning.
Explain the role of ICT and assessment in learning. Design and creative electronic assessment portfolio. Explored various digital online and offline assessment alternatives available. Describe the current trends in technology-based assessment practices in school. And last, selected appropriate assessment tools. Introduction. Assessment, learning, and teaching are closely connected and interwoven because each provides information that can determine effective instruction. In the process of conceptualizing a plan on how to teach, as the learning outcomes are put in place. The next step to consider is how these are to be evaluated. This is an important part of instruction because data gathered in the space of instruction will inform the teacher whether the students have actually learned and that the teacher has to consider a better approach in teaching. The use of technology plays a vital role in assisting teachers how to assess students' learning. It involves digital devices or online applications that can be used in constructing, delivering, and reporting learners' performance. This unit, which is composed of 2 lessons, present important concepts on assessment and learning while integrating technology tools that can appropriately evaluate students' learning. Varied types of online assessment tools are discussed. The e-portfolio assessment is also presented as an alternative way that can provide learners the chance to reflect how they learn. Lesson 1. ICT and Assessment of Learning. Assessment is very important in students' learning. Many approaches are applied to assessment and learning with an emphasis on the process of learning along with the product of learning. The ultimate measure of students' competence is performance. Lesson 1 will focus on discussing the basic assessment practices, explore how various technology tools can be integrated effectively for assessing students' learning, and describe the emerging trends in technology-based assessment in teaching and learning. So when we say assessment, it is the process of identifying, gathering, and interpreting information about students' learning. We have here also the types of assessment: the formative assessment that provides feedback on information during the instructional process while learning is taking place and while learning is occurring. Next is the summative assessment. It takes place after the learning has been completed and provides information and feedbacks that teachers and learning processes. Third is the diagnostic assessment that can help you identify your students' current knowledge of a subject, their skill set and capabilities, and to clarify misconceptions before taking place. Knowing students' strengths and weaknesses can help you better plan what to teach and how to teach it. Last, the authentic assessment. It describes the multiple form of assessment that reflect students' learning, achievements, motivations, and attitudes on instructionally relevant classroom activities.
Good morning everyone, my name is Saint Rapino Cristobal and our topic for today is all about the role of ICT in assessment and learning. And right now, we will going to tackle the role of ICT in assessment and learning. Kung ano ba yung ginagampatan ng ICT in assessment and learning? So, the role of ICT in assessment and learning is that there are new technologies created to provide students with higher level thinking skills, particularly the aspect of creative and critical thinking, and the opportunity to teach and assess those skills. So, here in the second slide, so sabi dito, there are new technologies created to provide students with higher level thinking skills. So, right now at this moment, there are new technologies that are being invented. We are now in the 21st century na kung saan ang yung technology is very faster and unlike before na kung saan ang technology natin is very, kumbaga, mahina talaga. But now, we are now in the 21st century. Marami na mga new invented na mga technologies. Yung mga kakaibang mga technologies kung saan is nakakatulong siya sa buhay ng bawat tao na kung saan mas mapapabilis at mas mapapadali. So, there are new technologies created. So, kinreate talaga ito yung mga technologies nito and able na kung saan to provide students, especially students with higher level thinking skills na kung saan mai-enhance pa nila lalo at yung mga skills na meron talaga sila. So, nasa kanila na talaga. So, for example, yung paggamit ng mga computers, mga laptops, mga cellphones, no? Kumbaga, because of this new technologies that being created by the technology, so, mas lalo pa na-enhance yung mga skills nila na meron na talaga sa kanila na inborn. So, kung saan, mas lalo pa itong napapaganda at mas na-improve yung mga skills nila na meron sila. Particularly, sabi din dito, the aspect of being creative, no? So, because of the technology, yung mga students or yung mga bata, mas lalo pa sila nagiging creative na kung saan yung mga skills na meron sila, mas lalo pa na-develop. And also, it is also opportunity to teach and assess those skills na kung saan because of this technology is nagiging isa siya sa kumbaga, isa sa mga instrument na kung saan nakakatulong sa students na kung saan is mai-improve pa yung mga critical thinking skills nila, yung pagiging creative nila, and kumbaga is yung the role of ICT is to assess those skills na talaga na meron sila na kung saan mas mai-improve at mai-enhance pa lalo. So, we are now in the third slide. So, sabi dito, the use of ICT in assessment is very helpful to teachers because students' information and result examination can be recorded and stored and can be easily retrieved. So, sabi dito, the use of ICT in assessment is very helpful. Talagang napaka-helpful po talaga ang role ng ICT or ng technology, especially sa mga teachers, hindi lang po sa mga students, but also for the teachers because yung mga information, yung mga result, for example, nagpapa-exam sila, no? Especially nung pandemic. So, walang face-to-face classes, online classes po. 2 years ago, kumbaga ay meron silang mga application na ginagamit na kung saan kapag nag-exam yung bata or yung mga information ng mga students nila, no, kumbaga is meron silang makukuhanan ng mga information kaagad. Especially the use of technology, yung mga laptops, mga computers, mga cellphones, no, they are created and invented na kung saan mas lalo pa mapapadali ang kumbaga yung hindi na tayo mahihirapan, especially the teachers. Halimbawa na lang yung mga examination, it can be recorded. And halimbawa, may times na before in traditional learning natin is kapag nawala yan siya or nabasa, wala ka na makukuha. But because of the technology right now, kapag nawala yan siya, it can be restored, it can be retrieved na kung saan merong mga backup files, merong mga backup na pwedeng gawin or pwedeng kumbaga merong mga backup files na halimbawa accidentally na delete or accidentally nawala, it can be restored and it also can be retrieved. And it is very helpful sa kung saan yung assessment and learning in the use of ICT. So, next slide po tayo. So, with the use of ICT, the teachers can right away give feedback to student on the result of assessment. Feedback from computer during the use of test materials improves students' performance later use of the same materials. For example, with the use of ICT, the teachers can right away give feedback. For example, in a Google Classroom, before when the pandemic time, so there are no face-to-face classes. So, online po talaga yung kind of learning ng mga students and teachers. So, halimbawa na lamang po is nagpa-exam or nagpa-quiz yung teacher. So, no, sa application na yon, automatically, yung teachers na yon is, if you fill up lang nila yung answers at sasagutan ng mga students, no, lalabas na kaagad yung results. Makikita na agad yung mga scores nila. For example, nag-exam ako and as experience, di ba? Nag-exam ako and kapag kinik ko yung submit, automatically, nandoon yun yung results ko. So, napakabilis talaga ng technology. Kumbaga, masasabi mo talaga na mapapawaw ka talaga because of the technology na kung saan grabe yung utak or kumbaga grabe yung pag-create niya talaga na kasi naisip niya yun na kung saan kapag nag-submit ka, automatically makikita mo na yung mga answers mo, and also makikita mo na rin yung mga mali mo na sinagot. So by the help of the ICT, so yung teachers is makakabigay talaga siya agad-agad ng mga feedback automatically. So makikita ng mga student yung mga results nila. According to SIDHU 2013, sabi niya dito, in educational assessment, the use of technology as an innovation and support for teaching and learning is this essential to improve instruction and increase performance. With an effective classroom assessment system in place, a valid demonstration of student learning and progress connected to classroom instruction and experience can be confirmed. So according to SIDHU 2013, sabi niya dito, an educational assessment, the use of technology is an innovation. It is very important because of technology, sabi niya dito, support for teaching and learning. So, sinusuportahan ng technology yung pagtuturo for teaching. And also, it is very essential because it can increase and improve instruction and performance of a teacher within the classroom. With an effective classroom, magiging effective siya kapag sinabi na doon yung support ng technology. For example, yung mga smart TV natin, no, mas lalo nagiging effective yung mga students po natin because of the use of the technology is napapabilis. Hindi na natin kailangan mag Manila paper or mag cartolina, direct na sa smart TV. So, yung use of technology is nasusuportahan niya yung teaching strategy ng isang teacher. So, sabi din dito, nadidemonstrate niya mas lalo, nadidemonstrate lalo ng isang teacher because of the technology, yung mga smart TV, and nagiging creative din yung mga teacher natin. And also, it enhance also yung progress ng isang student. So, mas lalo siya na-develop, kung ano yung nakikita niya. So, mas lalo nagiging interested yung student. So, also sabi dito, yung mga experience, yung mga instruction is napaka-importante po talaga because of the technology. Nasusuportahan niya yung teaching strategy or yung teaching na tinuturo ng isang teacher. So we are now in the next slide. So tests play a vital role in traditional learning as well as e-learning, and this help the teachers and the learners in measuring learning. So there are many freeware where the teachers can create quizzes and evaluate learning electronically. So in this slide, so at this moment, because of the use of the technology, so isa din sa rule ng ICT and assessment learning is that because of the technology is mas lalo natin na improve yung mga yung mga teaching strategy natin as a teacher. So sabi dito, there are many freeware where the teachers can create quizzes and evaluate learning. So through the use of the smart TV, through the use of the laptops, phones, mobile phones, no, meron lang ipa-flash yung teacher sa smart TV. So, it can create quizzes and evaluate learning electronically na kung saan mas lalo pa yung interest ng isang student is makukuha niya talaga by showing images sa smart TV, diba, is na mas lalo niya na nakaka-catch up yung interest ng isang student. So, isa din ito sa mga teaching strategy ng teacher na kung saan is yung learning is nandoon talaga. Is, kumbaga, yung learning is mas lalong ma-improve yung performance ng isang student. For example, by showing pictures, sinasabi ko nga yun, images, or mga kung saan is ma-attract yung isang student na kung saan is mas lalo na de-develop yung skills niya sa pagsagot, at isa ito sa kung saan is nakakatulong talaga sa pag-develop ng learning ng isang student or ng isang bata. Okay, next slide. So we are now here. So online examination system seeks to efficiently evaluate the test takers through a fully automated system that not only saves time but also give fast results. So it is done in most cases through web-based online examination software. So this online examination will also eliminate the need for monitoring while the exam is being taken. So we are now here in the web-based online examination software. So ito yung online examination system na kung saan it seek efficiently evaluate the test takers truly kumbaga it is a very fully automated na itong system na ito. So it saves time, not only saves time but also it gives fast results. So it is done in most cases, nasabi dito yung web-based online examination software na kung saan this online examination will eliminate the need for monitoring while the exam is being taken. So, because of the technology, marami na i-invent yung tao. So, napaka-importante talaga nito. So, we are so lucky na kung saan meron tayong ganitong klase na online examination system na kung saan makikita po dati nito sa web-based online examination software. It is very helpful, especially sa mga teachers natin and also sa mga students natin kasi through this online examination, mas lalo silang na-explore, mas lalo silang kumbaga nade-develop yung critical thinking nila, yung mga thinking skills po nila. So, mas lalo sila nagiging, kumbaga, na-explore, sabi ko kanina, na-explore sila lalo sa mga bagay-bagay na hindi pa nila alam ko. Kumbaga is, marami sila mga bagay-bagay na kung saan na-notice. And also, yung skills nila in using the technology is mas lalo pa po na-i-improve at na-i-enhance lalo. So, napaka-importante po talaga ng technology, especially now in the 21st century sa atin ng mga teachers, sa atin ng mga students. So, that's all. Next slide po tayo. So, we are now in the next slide. So, we're going to tackle what is the advantage of this web-based exam software or online examination na tinatawag natin. So, one of the advantage of using this web-based exam software, or an online examination system, is that it gives the high level of transparency as opposed to the traditional method of learning na kumbaga nun dati or remote method. It is almost impossible to compromise exam questions and evaluations because they cannot also be influenced. So most online exams generate the results instantly and it is often possible for the exam taker to get information on his result immediately. So, sabi dito, yung advantage po talaga ng this web-based exam software na kung saan it gives the high level of tinatawag nating transparency. Kumbaga, legit talaga at kumbaga is valid talaga siya. And also, this most online examination generate result instantly. Kasi, because of the technology, sabi ko nga kanina is napakadali talaga ng technology is one click mo na lang talaga is nandyan na talaga yung sagot, nandoon na talaga yung results. And napakaganda nito kasi magagamit talaga dito ng isang teacher, especially during pandemic, di ba, na-experience natin or may mga bagay-bagay na kung saan may mga instances na halimbawa bumabagyo or hindi pwedeng makapunta yung students or yung teacher sa isang school, pwede sila So, we are now in the next slide. So, we're going to tackle what is the advantage of this web-based exam software or online examination na tinatawag natin. So, one of the advantage of using this web-based exam software, or an online examination system, is that it gives the high level of transparency as opposed to the traditional method of learning na kumbaga nun dati or remote method. It is almost impossible to compromise exam questions and evaluations because they cannot also be influenced. So, most online exams generate the results instantly and it is often possible for the exam taker to get information on his result immediately. So, sabi dito, yung advantage po talaga ng this web-based exam software na kung saan it gives the high level of tinatawag nating transparency. Kumbaga, legit talaga at kumbaga is valid talaga siya. And also this most online examination generate result instantly kasi because of the technology, sabi ko nga kanina, is napakadali talaga ng technology. Is one click mo na lang talaga, is nandyan na talaga yung sagot, nandoon na talaga yung results. And napakaganda nito kasi magagamit talaga dito ng isang teacher, especially during pandemic, di ba, na-experience natin or may mga bagay-bagay na kung saan may mga instances na halimbawa bumabagyo or hindi pwedeng makapunta yung students or yung teacher sa isang school, pwede sila mag-conduct ng tinatawag natin na online learning, na kung saan kapag may exam, so ilagay lang nila dito. So, magbibigay talaga agad ito ng mga instant result na kung saan hindi na kailangan ng estudyante or mga teachers din na pumunta sa school. Home base na sila at mag-online na lang sila. So, napakaganda din po ito kasi yung information, kumbaga is yung mga information ng isang students or mga result is nabibigay immediately, sabi nga dito. So, next slide po tayo. So, we are now here in the some major advantages of online examination are. So, because of the use of ICT and technology, ito yung mga advantage kung bakit mas maganda minsan yung tinatawag natin na online examination kaysa sa traditional na kung saan face-to-face. So, ito po yung mga advantage niya. First is the accessibility and flexibility is because of the technology is mag-access ka lang, mag-open ka lang ng mobile phone mo or ng mga laptop mo is kumbaga mabilis yung access talaga is, and it is very flexible talaga, no? And also sabi din dito, and number 2, yung some major advantages of online explanation are time and management. So through this is masasabi mo talaga yung kapag nilagay ng teacher doon na 1 hour lang talaga yun, kaya hindi na unlike kung sa traditional, okay, I extend o mag-extend ako ng 5 minutes pero kapag kumbaga is nilagay mo doon na 1 hour yung exam lang, yung time lang talaga, is magko-close na yan siya automatically kasi it is very automated na kasi sa technology. Kapag nilagay ng teacher doon na 1 hour lang yung time na mag-exam yung mga student, automatically by after that 1 hour is magko-close at agad yung system. So meron tinatawag dito yung time and management, no, kasi saan is yung student is ima-manage niya talaga yung time niya, yung pag-manage niya ng mga sagot niya. And also number 3, isa din ito, so as a student din, no, it's save and cost. Kasi baga hindi mo na kailangan pumunta sa school para, especially sa mga malalayo, no, nakaka-save sila kasi hindi na nila kailangan pumunta sa school para magpamasahe, para magsumakay sa sasakyan, no. Kumbaga yung isa din kasi sa disadvantage kasi yung financial status ng isang student. So, no, because of this online examination is yung makaka-save pa sila lalo at hindi na sila kumbaga yung hindi na sila makakagasto, ganun, no? Kumbaga they will save and cost. So number 4, statistical analysis. So yun yung mga advantage ng online examination, and kumbaga is may accessibility, may time and management sila, may save on cost, and statistical analysis. So, it is very important na sa online examination, ito yung mga advantage. Next slide po tayo. So, finally, we are now in the last slide. So, security and confidentially. So, napaka-importante talaga nito yung security and confidential na tinatawag. So, security and confidentiality should also be considered. Security needs to be given top priority for any website that you will add inform to. Some schools utilize software for security and privacy for examination. So, isa din ito sa mga disadvantage din kapag nagkakandak yung teacher or tayo ng online examination. Napaka-importante yung tinatawag na security and confidentiality. Sabi nga dito, should also be considered. It must be the top priority. Kasi minsan hindi natin maiwasan mayroong mga hacker, no? Yung magagaling talaga sa technology, no? Kumbaga is kaya nila i-hack yung isang website. So, dapat kapag nagkakandak tayo ng online examination, dapat i-priority po natin yung tinatawag natin na security talaga. So, security needs to be given the top priority for any website that you will add information to. Dapat po, wag tayo pumasok or mag-click sa mga any website na hindi naman related po. Kasi minsan, dito yung nakakalusot yung mga hacker natin na makikita na nila yung mga tamang sagot o yung mga answers. So, dapat napaka-importante po talaga na ma-secure po natin, and also some schools utilize software for security and privacy of examination. So, at this moment, meron na po tayo ng mga schools na kung saan pina-priority na yung tinatawag natin na mga security and privacy during the examination para wala po tayong tinatawag na cheating or malfunction na tinatawag. So, ni-utilize nila yung mga software nila at napaka-importante po ang tinatawag natin na security and confidentiality. So, that's all my report, and thank you, and God bless us all. God bless us all. So, that is the rule of ICT in assessment and learning. So, thank you and God bless.
Current trends in assessment in learning. We have here the assessment. It is the process of gathering evidence of students' performance over a period of time to determine learning and mastery of skills. Assessment is the systematic basis for making inferences about the learning and development of the students. It is the process of defining, selecting, designing, collecting, analyzing, interpreting, and using information to increase the students' learning and development. Also, we have here the traditional assessment like objective tests such as multiple choice, matching type, true or false, and other the pencil test paper received criticism by some expert in assessment. Traditional assessments are tests taken with paper and pencil that are usually true or false, matching, or multiple choice. These assessments are easy to grade but only test isolated applications, facts, or memorized data at lower level thinking skills. The 21st century assessment includes utilizing multiple measures of assessment. Multiple measures are the use of multiple indicators to measure student learning. This data is collected at multiple points in time and is examined within and across subject areas. Multiple measures are the use of more than one assessment measures to assess a student's abilities. Multiple measures should include not just student learning, but demographics, perceptions, and school process as well. Student learning describes the results of the education system with respect to its standardized test result and students' GPAs. Second, increasing the use of technology. Using computers and other devices are just the tip of the iceberg. Technology allows increased communication and collaborations within and beyond the classroom. Students can share their opinions on social networks, conduct surveys, create multimedia presentations, attend webinar sessions, and even conduct lively discussions with other students from across the world. In fact, a whole new division of education has emerged in the wake of technological innovations. Online or distance learning, which allows students to complete an entire course of study without even having to physically attend a lesson, is becoming an increasingly popular option that has opened avenues for many people who do not necessarily have the time or access to an campus study. Focus on the growth and development of the learner, and lastly, differentiating the roles and responsibilities of the teachers, administrations, and other stakeholders. The teacher as a stakeholder is expected to possess the professional knowledge to lead the students' instructions. In addition to serving in an instructional role, the teacher can be a mentor, supervisor, counselor, and community leader. The teacher can be a mentor to students or other teachers. In the 21st century, educators and students can no longer afford this disconnect. To help students become college and career ready, we need to teach them to apply what they are learning in school to the practical and intellectual tasks in their everyday lives. In the 21st century, we are facing a global economy where information travels at the speed of light, and knowledge of how to harness and sift through that information has become vital to our personal and national well-being. As an educator, we know that our students must graduate ready to function in this expanded world.
Good day everyone. Our topic for today is all about the Module 6 Lesson 2, the criteria in choosing appropriate assessment tool. Our lesson outcomes: first is examine appropriate assessment tools to be used in the classroom. Second is review assessment used by teacher and determine if it is applicable in the 21st century. Third is decided the type of measure to be utilized. Assessment methods. Who can read the assessment methods and give their some insight about this? Mr. Guillermo, boys at the back, Mr. Guillermo, stand up. Can you read it and give their some insight? All right, thank you so much, Mr. Guillermo. Okay, anyone who can explain it? Mr. Percadillo, stand up. All right, thank you so much. Or give a hand, everyone, to Mr. Percadillo and Mr. Guillermo. Okay, anyone, who else? To give us some example of some site or examples of this topic. Okay, stand up, Miranda. Okay, thank you so much. Okay, assessment class. Those your answers class are correct because assessment methods are strategies, techniques, tools, and instruments. So those are the methods that we'll use to assess or to collect the informations and to the learners. No, ito yung ginagamit, no, yung mga methods na ginagamit to collect the information to determine what the students desired or what the students demonstrate, what the student demonstrate to desired outcomes, using the strategies, using the techniques, tools, and instruments. So those are the assessment methods that we'll use that collect the information to determine the students' desired outcomes. And next is the first step in attaining competency and selecting appropriate test involves understanding the purpose or purposes for which an assessment is given, according to Marantz 2001. Okay, who can give the examples or who can give some insight about this topic? Girls at the back. This is my left side. Stand up. Mr. What was your name? Mr. Pauya. Okay, Mr. Pauya. Give the example about this topic. Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Mias Pauya rather. Thank you so much. And who else? Who else, everyone? Girls at the back. Girls at the back. Okay, Bundok. Can you explain it? Stand up. Alright, who else? Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Bundok. Who else to explain it? Mr. Paredes. Stand up and explain it. Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Paredes. Okay, everyone, a round of applause, please. Thank you so much, and please be seated. The first step in attaining competency in select appropriate tests involve understanding the purpose or purposes, no, which are in other words, the the first step that we'll do is to attain the competency. Na para ma-attain natin yung what are the competences to select appropriate, no? Kung ano yung nag-i-involve to, or what are those involving to understand the purpose or purposes na yung what are the purpose or purposes for which an assessment is given, na parang kumbaga alam natin yung competences that will select, no, during that observation to the students according to Merens 2001. And next is these are the following may be considered in choosing appropriate assessment tools. Okay, who can read the number 1? Okay, thank you so much. Number 2, who can read? Mr. Carbondok, stand up. Read it, number 2. Okay, thank you so much. Okay, number 3, who can read? Okay, Tubera, stand up. Interval in giving assessment. Okay, everyone, a round of applause. Thank you so much. Please be seated. Okay, class, these are the following may be considered in choosing appropriate assessment tools. Mr. Berra again, read it. Alright, thank you so much. Everyone, a round of applause for you. During this teaching, teachers not only have to communicate the information they planned, but also continuously monitor students' learning and motivation in order to determine whether modification have to be made. No, according to Arisian 2005. So, when we, in other words, that's the teachers, or when we are teaching, the teachers not only have to communicate the information they plan. Hindi naman sinasabi lahat ng mga teacher kung what they plan about the students, no? But they can continuously monitor students' learning, and they are the teacher, they are continuously to motivate in order to determine whether modification have to be made. Para naman ma-motivate yung learners niya na maging okay, maging ganado siya, no? Those are the teachers that will strategize. Another one is direct methods. So when we say direct methods, involves looking at actual samples of students' work produced in our programs. So when we say direct method, class, it is a actual samples of the work, students' work, which is actual. Like example, examinations, written, oral presentation, performances, the thesis or dissertation. So these are the examples of a direct method. Another one is indirect method. Who can read? Okay, Mr. Alfaro again. Just read it. Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Alfaro. Again, who else? From the girls? Makakana, read it. Okay, thank you so much, Makakana. A round of applause, please. Okay, indirect method, class, it is a useful supplement to check the findings from the direct measure, which is directed measure to the learners, which is examples, student satisfaction survey, direct siya, surveys of students, alumni, exit interviews with graduating students participation rates. So those are the examples of indirect method. Another one is characteristics in selecting appropriate assessment tools, whether conventional or ICT-based assessment. Number 1 is measure the desired level of performance, level of satisfaction, no, productivity, efficiency, students' performance. So those are the characteristics to select the appropriate assessment tools. It's either a conventional or ICT-based assessment. Cost-effective in terms of effort, time, and money.
Hi everyone, I am Hazel Dasmariñas and I will be the one to report about the creating and utilizing a rubric. A rubric is a set of criteria used to determine scoring for an assignment, performance, or product. This can be used to score many kinds of written assignments or exams, papers, projects, speeches, or e-portfolios. They are not useful, however, as a grading mechanism for multiple choice or short answer tests. There are many samples of rubrics online, but the teacher may consider the learner's objective of the lesson, contextualization, and localization. The main purpose of rubrics is to assess students' performances. For some performances, the teacher may observe the students in the process of doing something like making their projects, online drill, tutorial, and many more.
So when we say rubric, it is a scoring tool that explicitly describe or identify the instructor's performance or expectations for an assignment or piece of work. So in learnings, yung rubric is isang criteria to assess the performance of a learner. Just for example, in their tests, quizzes, or exams. There are two types of rubrics. First, we have the analytic rubrics, and second is the holistic rubrics.
Analytic rubrics describe work on each criterion separately. It utilizes separate holistic ratings of specific characteristics, products, or behaviors. Holistic rubrics describe the work by applying all the criteria at the same time and enabling an overall judgment about the quality of the work. It utilizes holistic rating for a product or behavior.
So, the analytic rubrics has two-dimensional rubrics with levels of achievements as columns and assessment criteria as rows. It allows you to assess participants' achievements based on a multiple criteria using a single rubric. Analytic rubric is written in a table form. Holistic rubrics are one-dimensional rubrics. It has a single criteria rubric used to assess participants' overall achievements on an activity or item based on predefined achievement levels. Also, performance descriptions are written in paragraphs and usually in full sentences. Dito sa holistic rubrics, ito yung parang na-judge ka or nagbibigay ka ng comments sa performance ng learner.